In this video, we'll show you how to replace the front pads and rotors on your Ford Edge. This is located in the front of the vehicle and behind the wheel. Let's get started. With the vehicle raised and supported, we can remove the lug nuts with a 21 millimeter. And we can go ahead and remove the wheel. Using a flathead screwdriver, we can remove the clip from the front of the caliper. Just pop that off the top. On the back side of the caliper, we have two plastic caps. We can go ahead and remove those. Removing those caps will reveal our two 11 millimeter Allen head bolts. You can go ahead and remove the pins. You can get the caliper body off. You want to make sure to hang your caliper with a securing strap or a hook, that way it doesn't fall. And go ahead and remove the outer brake pad. On the back side of the knuckle, we have two 18 millimeter bolts. I'm going to thread that back in just a little bit. That way it'll hold the bracket up. And we can remove the bracket. To free up the rotor from the hub, you can hit with a hammer right on the hub surface of the rotor. You want to try not to hit the studs though, as if you damage them, you will have to replace them. Now I'm going to use some brake parts cleaner and a brush to clean up the hub. With the bracket off to the side on a bench, we can go ahead and clean this up. I'm going to use some brake parts cleaner. We'll use a brush and clean on the pad mating surfaces. We can apply some anti-seize to the hub. And we can install our rotor. Before installing the brake caliper bracket, I like to use one of the lug nuts, and I'll use an old axle nut. You can certainly use some washers or an old bearing for this. This will help hold the rotor flat to the hub while we install the brake caliper. We can get our caliper bracket lined up. It's good to get both of the bolts started in before you tighten either one down. We can snug these down. And we can torque these to 111 foot-pounds. We need to compress the caliper. In order to do that, I'm going to leave the old pad in here for now. You can either use a C-clamp for this, a caliper compressor if you have it, or in my case, I like to use a set of filter wrench pliers. We're just going to squeeze on the pad. You want to be careful not to pinch the banjo bolt while you're doing this. With the caliper compressed, we can go ahead and remove the inner pad. Now we can take the new inner pad, the one with the clips on the back, and those clips slide right into the pistons of the caliper. Now we can apply some brake grease on either ends of the pads. You can either apply this to the pads or the bracket itself. We'll do it on both sides. We can apply brake grease to our outer pad as well. We can install that onto the bracket. Be very careful that you don't twist the brake hose in the wrong direction. We'll get the body lined up on the bracket. I'm going to apply some brake grease to the slide pins here. It's best to apply them just on the lower portion. That way you can thread them in, grabbing the upper portion. And get each of the slide pins into the back of the caliper. We can snug each of these down. And we can torque these to 41 foot-pounds. Reinstall the plastic caps on the back side. We'll get our caliper spring in place. And get one of the ends into the hole. Using a flathead screwdriver, just make sure it's locked down. If you used a nut to hold the rotor on, go ahead and remove that. Make sure you pump up the brake before you take the vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching. We'll reinstall the wheel. And we can line up the lug studs with the holes in the wheel. I'm going to press in down at the bottom of the wheel. And we can install the lug nuts. I like to thread the first one all the way in, and that'll help hold the wheel in while I put the other lug nuts on. And we'll snug those down in a star pattern. With the vehicle on the ground, we can go ahead and torque these to 162 foot-pounds in a star pattern.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.